Hello, my name is Omar Rampersad. It is 1:46 p.m., August 9, 2019. So I tweeted a bunch of tweets. RSHINI 911. So it's about harassment outside my window and about harassment by the contractors. And I named their names because this is an ongoing harassment campaign in this building. So it would seem that because of the flag, people are signing me out, and anybody could do this. Anybody who has contact with me, it doesn't even have to be physical contact from what I gather. It could be just on the phone. And they can become a source, and they can make reports about me and tell lies, basically. So they know the agenda. The agenda is to have me mentally committed because it's been tried before. And there is no criminal activity on my part. So I'm painted as having done criminal activity when none of it is true, because this is part of the agenda and this is part of the targeting. Now, the setup this morning was that somebody had needed a flag, so the worker outside in the loading dock stood outside my window and loudly talked about effing whores and she screws herself and effing bitch and all this stuff, as this is normal conversation for this man and his family. And and of course, the intention is to incite anger and to make somebody really upset. And it is very extremely upsetting to me when this worker who reports to the corporation, who have filed several complaints uh, to the management about his behavior and the way he talks and encourages other people to talk about women generally, not only about myself. He talks about prostitution, he talks about whores, he talks about selling women, he talks about sending men into women, and so on. So my suspicion is that he's pimping. And since I filed a lot of complaints about him and nothing is being done and he's still there, the question remains in my mind as to why that is. So a lot of what's going on outside the window is retaliation. And he's encouraging other people to join him in doing so. And the contractors are actually signing me out or contracting with the person in the building who signed me out. So there is a team who is surveilling me in rotation and to collect information. So I'm being stalked and gang stalked. And when I reported to the cops that this was happening, the cops told me I was paranoid right off the bat inside of my home. So they were lying, basically, because this is actually going on outside the window. I'm recording it. I'm putting it on the YouTube. My family is involved, so my family is doing exactly the same thing. So my family is signing me out and is signing me back in with all sorts of lies, flagging, and because of the flag, there is another side to this where the flag causes alerts to be sent out in the community, and microwave technology is being used to subdue and to contain, which I have recorded in devices like this. So I got this new meter, and this is a spectrum analyzer, and it tracks RF, EMF, and electrical fields as well, EF. So it's a very comprehensive um, signals analyzer. And it's right on track with all the other cheaper versions I've used in the past. So it's continuing right now, right at this moment. The contractors are outside the window talking about this signing in and out, and it's public information. The information is in the courts. Um, um, uh, I used to be a prostitute. It's absoluted that I used to be a prostitute, and the cops are going to come and pick me up anytime or charge me with something. And these reports are being submitted to the cops, new ones every day, and new flags every are put on my name with each report, and something new is put on, and the names of the past informants who did this, like Badr Nizar, Pad, my brother, my sister-in-law, everybody she's subcontracted to. And all the workplaces I worked for in the last 5 to 6 years, people who are involved in this reporting process. Everybody, the idea is to isolate me because I'm a target. I'm not supposed to have friends. And this is what's being talked about right now outside by Waltech contractors. They are constantly talking about this. This is the only topic of conversation outside the window. When they're outside the window within earshot, this is the only topic of conversation that they talk, they converse about. No other topic, just this topic. So they're obsessed with with this topic. They're obsessed with me. They're obsessed with driving me out of the building. There's constant remarks being made about the cops having a removal order, and it's been signed, and all they've got to do is serve it. There are constant talk about submissions to the court to have me mentally committed and dragged out. There are constant references to being gerbiled, and I saw you, bitch, quote unquote. Keep the lights on so we could see you, or take the lights off, open your legs. In other words, do as they tell you to do because you are a slave, and the word slave is always used. You're a slave. Everybody saw you naked. You're a frog. We saw you with your legs open. The sister-in-law recorded you. The worker recorded you inside your home. We all saw you, and so on and so on. These are the comments that Waltech contractors are making outside the window every single time they're within earshot, knowing that I can hear. So it's ongoing. This subcontracting and this harassment, sexual harassment outside my window is ongoing. It's encouraged by the worker. It starts with the worker. The contractors report into the corporation. So in order to keep their contract, they're helping them out. They're lying, in other words. I heard there were affidavits being sworn by contractors saying that that I followed them, whatever that they signed and lied about. These are out and out lies because I actually do just the opposite. I tweet about it, I blog about it, I avoid them. Um, I am going to start seeking cease and desist orders to stop the harassment because the corporation is not helping. They are employing the people who are harassing me on an ongoing basis, and my complaints are not getting any results. So I'd have to get a cease and desist order to get some effect. So blogs like this is evidence what I'm recording inside of my home that I can hear 20 feet away from the window. This is evidence. It needs to stop because it's very, very, very upsetting, which is why I verbalize. If you're really, really upset and people are intentionally doing this to you, and the worker knows that it's upsetting when he does this, and he's been doing it for the last 10, at least 10 years, and I filed complaints about it to the Human Rights Tribunal as well. So he's very, very, very aware that this is extremely upsetting, but he's still doing it. So obviously, the intention is to hear me, is to make me listen, to upset me, and I am upset. So to deal with these emotions, I verbalize. So what they do then, they record what I verbalize and take it to get some more flags. So this is an ongoing process. It's set up. It's a frame. It's used all the time. Signals that I record with these very these tech detectors that are really very good at what they do. They're not cheap. This one was not cheap. These are signals that are coming into my body to cause pain. So this is how I'm set up. Because if you're verbally harassing you and at the same time hitting you with a remote weapon, evidenced by these signals causing pain, then you're going to verbalize. You're going to have to deal with the emotion that it triggers. And my way of dealing with it is verbalization. Nobody's supposed to be recording this, especially since they are doing it intentionally. This is a frame. It's a way of framing me. It's an intentional trap. It's an intentional action to frame me, to make me look like I need to be drugged, I need to be pulled out of my home. I'm mentally retarded, I'm emotionally perturbed. These are the words that Waltech contractors are using. along with the worker that they're talking to right now. None of this is true. They're making it happen. As a woman, it is extremely upsetting to have a bunch of men outside your window on an ongoing basis for years talk about effing whores, remotely raping, sending tons of men inside of you, looking at you naked inside your home, commenting on what you're doing inside of your bathroom, calling you a prostitute, calling a unit number, making references to the complaints you filed to the human rights so you know that they're talking about you, constantly talking about other reports that's being submitted about you, like Badr Nizar submitted a report that says a lot of the things about me has been underreported, some sort of a despot, and he predicated that I was a prostitute. This is while I heard that he was a steward and he was trying to take my property away. He was trying to defraud me of my asset by mentally committing me and placing himself as a steward so he could have control of the asset. This is a fraud and a scam. So this is what Waltech is talking about right now outside my window, along with the work. And nothing seems to stop them from doing what they're doing. So it has to be fixed. They're openly saying that the judge is not going to do anything about it, that it's all fixed. Nothing is going to happen because the judges and the courts and the magistrate has it all fixed. Because a lot of the people in the court and the legal system has the link and the password and are logging in. Therefore, to protect themselves, they will fix it. And they're calling Rohini Besasar's name as well. They're also calling Russell Williams' name. They're calling Bernardo's name, which my lawyer did as well. Actually, my lawyer, ex-lawyer, past lawyer, compared my case to Bernardo's case. And I was completely flabbergasted when he did that. I was in shock. And then when I started researching Bernardo's case, and there seemed to be sex slavery and underground snuff movies and Satanism involved. So then there seemed to be a connection to the other comments that workers and contractors talk about Satanism, satanic rituals, and remote rape and accessing people remotely as part of the satanic assaults. So what I'm saying is what I'm hearing, basically. These are comments being made by people who I heard has a link and a password to look at me share because I'm all open. I'm a target. I'm no longer a human being. I'm an animal, a guinea pig, and I don't own my body. Anybody could access it. These are comments that Waltech contractors are saying outside my window. And the only way to stop them from doing so is what I'm doing right now. The cops are not doing anything about it, and filing complaints are not getting results. So this is the only way to protect myself, basically, and other women who I'm sure are being affected this way. They're being protected. They're covered, or else they wouldn't be doing it this openly. The only way somebody would do this openly is because when they know that they're covered. It's fixed. They call the detectives' names Stip, Dale, and there were some other names that I dealt with at 42nd Division. They're openly talking about these cops outside the window, fixing it. Talk to you another time.